Yep.
Next, you're going to need to make women hate black men. You're going to need women to be fiercely independent, to no longer want children. And Kamala Harris has been on a tirade going to all these HBCUs telling black women to abort their babies. And she, as a black woman, has never given birth to a black baby, right? So
Isn't
now
that ironic?
you're gonna have this image being portrayed to little black girls before all of our role models were married women with children. This is
Yep.
gonna be the first time in which our role model will be married to a white man and will have no black children.
What do
And
you?
so she's basically like the perfect advocate to say abort your babies because you can be successful like me if you don't have children.
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
been
the
running
white
around
baby
the
being
country.
born is just fine, but you as a black woman, don't you dare have a baby.
She's been running around the country since before she actually was the presidential nominee. When Biden was at the top of the ticket, and she was just, obviously his vice presidential running mate for a second term. And the entire platform, it seems like that they spent the majority of their time championing at all of these rallies was they want to say women's rights or the right to be able to do what you want to do with your body. But basically, it was abortion. I mean, that's what they've been championing the entire time around the country. I don't understand it. I don't understand personally why liberals in particular are so gung ho about this issue and why this is something that shouldn't. Because to be honest, what Trump said, and he said it during the debate, and he continues to say it on all of these interviews, he says that it shouldn't be a federal issue. We want smaller government. This should go back into the hands of the states. And if the states determine that this is what they want based off of what the voters want, then this is what it's going to be instituted. This is not a federal ban. But why are liberals so gung ho about advocating for abortion? I don't understand it.
Because in today's day and age, if they brought the KKK back, they would have to explain that. So they're leaving us to kill ourselves. And we're doing it happily.
Mm.
Just imagine
Mm.
how happy the elites are knowing they can just throw a Planned Parenthood in there and women will line up with no promotion. Just
That's
imagine how happy they are knowing they can put three new rap artists on the radio and little boys are going to pick up guns and shoot each other based off some songs that they've been listening to. Just imagine how happy they are knowing that white people no longer have to be the villains because black people are doing it for them. Just
yeah.
imagine. And if you went around and told every black person that, they'd be like, dang, you know what? You're right. Because think about it. BET used to run commercials about abortion.
Mm-hmm.
BET is one of the reasons why I'm not a supporter of abortion. I was seeing those commercials at 7. They was coming on during 106 in Park,
There
in which I don't
was.
know, but it was a guy. He walked around the street and he asked, "What's the number one killer of black people?" And black people were saying things like stroke, heart attack, diabetes, gun violence, HIV, AIDS, car accidents, all the cancer, all of these different things. And then their faces all dropped when he said, "Actually, it's abortion." And then they showed you the numbers. They're like, with this and everything else, all the other common answers that we got, he had a chart with him. He's like, this is
Yeah.
how much it kills all of us per year, and abortion is triple that amount.
That might have been hits from the streets.
Maybe, but I remember it was a commercial on BET. I was a little
Mm-hmm.
girl,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a commercial on BET because abortion is literally, we are the only population that isn't growing. We've been at 14% of the American population since abortion came around.
And you got to round up to get that.
And so now let's think about it. Let's really talk about it. Conspiracy theorists to conspiracy theories. Now all the black women getting abortions and all the black men are gay. How are we gonna have any new black people?
Oh, you ain't got to worry about that.
And then the rich ones who make it out, we're gonna marry them off to white, Latina, da, da, da. We're gonna make it clear that the most beautiful thing or a trophy to you will be a woman that's not black. And you're
Throw
gonna
in,
fall for,
throw in, throw in. We make up the majority of the prison population. Throw
and
that on there as a caveat.
a third of our men are in jail, a third are gay, and the other ones are successfully married to somebody else.
You are
And
you
half of
100%
it,
right.
we can't even blame the system because as black women, the fact that we act like we don't naturally want to cater to our men is nuts to me. They had to go overboard with driving this city girl music into the community. Because
Mm-hmm.
when black women, we used to love being homemakers. There was pride in that. How nice you kept your house. Who cooked the best. All the moms used to, do potlucks and stuff. Grandmas used to feed the children and stuff on the weekends. Like, we don't have that anymore.
I
And
agree.
there's a reason for it. Like, there is so much destruction on our side, and they keep using black people to usher it on in. Same way they did when I mentioned earlier. Who killed Malcolm X? Who sold Huey P. Newton to heroin? Who went in and shot Fred Hampton in his sleep? Those were all black people. They use black people to usher in our destruction so we won't ask any questions and we will look at, since historically white people have been the enemy. If a white person is telling us not to trust a black person, we automatically are just against that, you know? And it's
Mm-hmm.
about time we got to realize, like, y'all hate it when people bring up Jim Crow. Well, stop acting like we living in Jim Crow.
Mm-hmm.
Befriend a white person. See where it might go. Vote for the white guy. See what happened. Like, it's okay if you can admit now that not every black person is good for the black cause. And black people, unfortunately, like, I can't speak on why white people are voting for her outside of abortion, because all the interviews that I've seen, when Trump said that people don't know who Kamala Harris is, it's true. You go on college campuses, a lot of people don't know who she is for real. If you say, what's the name of the vice president? They say, but if you say, are you voting for Kamala Harris? They'll say yes.
Mm.
Disillusioned we are as a people. Like, folks are not critical thinkers anymore. People are not researchers anymore. People are not citing their sources and making sure the information that they're receiving is credible. People are literally just riding the wave. Social media, like, everything was done by design. Like, you know, social media came on in and we wanted to see just how much we could get people to believe things and how quick. And social media proved to the higher ups that if you get enough people to post the same thing, the entire world will believe it to be true.
Yep.
Case in point, here in Atlanta, when we had our last election, you had Felicia Moore versus Andre Dickens. And somehow, some way, T.I., Lil Duval, Mr. Magic, who owns Magic City, and then I think it was Spiritual Word, one of the big media outlets out here,
Mm-hmm.
posted that if you voted for Felicia Moore, she was gonna close down all the strip clubs. And as sad as it is to admit this, we had people who had never voted in their entire life turn out to the polls for the sake of saving the strip clubs. Now, if you go and you Google this article, I wish I was lying to you. If you
Ah!
go and you Google this article, it is so obvious that it is fake. It is so obvious that somebody just put this together. It looked like they just edited a PowerPoint slide type stuff.
Yeah.
The type of low level mess you use when you need an excuse for school. Like, it looked so bad. And yet nobody questioned it because
Yeah.
all of these popular voices posted it.
Yep.
Not that the news talked about it, not because there was something in the paper about it, but because five major urban celebrities posted a fake article. And you had, I mean, men who never voted, men who said voting ain't got nothing to do with them, made sure they voted that day so that they could see the
Mm.
cheeks clap the following Wednesday. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you one more question. I want to get your thoughts on what do you think about Tim Walz?
So when it comes to Tim Walz, I think, and this is another thing, speaking to the black community, there's no black person on this planet that is, I guess, excited or happy at the thought of the state taking their child,
Mm.
let alone another state taking their child. If I go outside right now and I don't see my baby, within 5 minutes, I am freaking out. So
Yeah.
imagine if your baby made it to another state, right? And then that state refused to work with local authorities to bring your kid back. I don't know any black person that would tell me that is a dream of theirs. But because of Tim Walz, if your kid wants to transition as young as age 6 and you do not agree with it, that kid can find a way. And with social media now, how easy is it for these kids to find predators?
Yeah.
That kid can find a way to get to Minnesota. They can get their transition, and Minnesota will keep your child. Minnesota will not work with the local authorities, I guess, here in Georgia to bring my kid back.
That's insane. That
That's
is
what people
literally insane.
say. And they do that in the name of tolerance. Like, one of the things Kamala Harris, said in her DNC speech is that you should be free to express who you are. Put an age on it. I should be free to drink too. Put an age on it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should be free to join the military and fight for my country, but you gonna put an age on it though. So to act like children are mature enough to make life altering decisions is disgusting. And then let's talk about it for real in layman's terms, Antoine.
Okay.
What black person let their kid tell them what to do?
None. Zero. I don't know. They
Oh,
got a
okay.
they got a lot of gentle parenting now, so it might be a little different.
I don't know. Cause ain't nothing gentle about this household.
Ain't nothing
Baby,
gentle about mine either.
ain't nothing just about it. Man, my grandmama did a great job. My mama did a good job. I'm going to do a good job. Like, there are a few things about my upbringing and that I noticed about my mother's upbringing that I will change.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that no discipline, don't raise your voice, spare the rod.
Spoil a child.
Baby, not I, not I. So the fact that Tim Walz has championed himself as being somebody who has successfully given children more rights than their parents.
Yeah.
I don't know any, and this is even just outside of black people. I can't speak for other cultures because we've seen examples in which other children tell their parents what to do. But I don't think anybody would vote for that to be law.
Correct.
I think a lot of parents who've made the decision to be a parent do so because they feel like they can successfully raise a child. They don't do so because they wish to produce a child that will successfully raise themselves.